Hey, welcome back, Fire Family, to another episode of Mars Day with Mark. We're on episode 60 billion. It's been a nice ride. It's your host with the most, Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibration higher. It's good to see your beautiful face. May we all partake in this gift. Feast your eyes. Pretend it's not Thanksgiving because your eyes are about to fucking feast. Ooh, hey, this is your favorite astrology podcast, and we're gonna put it on blast. Today is November 5th. What? Today is November 5th. Yes, it is. And we're gonna cover the whole week through astrology up until November 12th. What? Good stuff. And I'm excited. And I had pulled out a soundboard for last video, guys, and the soundboard got me demonetized on that specific video. So I'll just have to do the sound effects myself. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, back to the chart. Let's get to it. So I'm going to run you guys through the moment right now as I'm getting this in, and then I'm going to go fast forward a week in advance, snance, and I'm going to tell you about the major highlights and events of the week. Ooh. So if you guys enjoy this video, rub your belly and pat your head for me, please. That's all I need. Okay. So today I have a beautiful chart for you. Happy Scorpio season, my friends. Shout out to my Scorpios. We start this week at 14 Scorpios. So I don't know about y'all, but like everything happened so fast. Didn't we just start Scorpio? We're like halfway done already. What? Dang, dude, you hate to see it. Why can't it always be Scorpio season? I'll tell you what it means in a second. But basically, we got the sun in Scorpio at 14. Our moon is waxing. Oh, yes, it is, because we had a new moon in Scorpio not that long ago. Moon is filling up. It's in Capricorn today. We've got Mercury at 4 degrees of Sagittarius. Venus is at 23 Sagittarius. Mars is in Leo. Oh my goodness. Get excited. 0 degrees to be exact. Jupiter's at 20 Gemini. We've got Saturn at 12 Pisces. Both of those two planets are retrograde, I might add. Jupiter and Saturn. Uranus is retrograde as well at 25 Taurus. Neptune is retro at 27 Pisces. And Pluto is direct at 29 Capricorn. And I could do this part all day when we start putting in asteroids and different, you know, hypothetical objects and planets past Pluto. But the only other thing I really want to show you is that the north node of the moon, very important, is at 4 degrees of Aries, and the south node of the moon is at 4 degrees of Libra. And I'm going to tell you what that means in a second. But before I get this, let's preface with emotion. On November 12th, you're going to see the sun at 21 Scorpio. You see, guys, we only got about 2.5 weeks left of Scorpio season. Oh, buddy. The moon is going to be in Aries, still waxing. So we have a quarter moon this week. We're almost on full moon timing. Full moon is coming up a little bit over a week. What else we got? We got Mercury moving up to about 13 degrees of Sag. That's about 10 degrees of movement. Venus actually switches signs into Capricorn. It'll hit 1 degree. Mars will move up to 2 Leo. We've got Jupiter moving back just a little bit. Saturn is really not moving too much. Nothing else is really moving too much. Uranus is in the same spot. Neptune's in the same spot. Pluto's like creeping along. And we will see Pluto switch signs this month, which is very significant. North and South node move back a few minutes. Okay, guys. So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the characters on our stage, and then I'm going to walk you through the days. Okay. Does that sound like fun? Does it sound like a good time? It does to me. This is episode 60 million. Oh, my goodness. Been doing this a long time. Oh, buddy. So, hey, guys, Scorpio season is about death and rebirth. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to die. even though you are going to die. I'm not trying to be cruel or morbid, but that's the only thing promised in life besides taxes, right? So get excited, live your life to the fullest under these Scorpio seasons and allow yourself to change. You guys know if we had no sun, it'd be a cold world. That's right. So, wherever the sun is in the sky, whatever constellation it's transiting in front of, we pull in that energy. And with the sun in Scorpio, it's about power. Power is what we're focused on. So, where is your power? Where does that lie? I be hitting the gym like it's stole from me, y'all. And I've been realizing that you need a little more time to rest when you're working on, you know, anabolism, hypertrophy. I've been learning a lot about power, y'all. How is Scorpio season treating you? Let me know in the comments below. Because my intentions, and a lot of times in Scorpio, I will say that because this whole energy revolves around power, Scorpio has this reputation for being very secretive and closed off and enigmatic. And when you can kind of tell someone has a Scorpio placement or is a Scorpio because they got that stare. They be looking at you all weird like an alien. They got that penetrating gaze. A lot of Scorpios like to keep their cards really close to their chest. They don't really want to let you know what's going on with them. But me, I'm not a Scorpio. I'm a Leo. I'm gonna let it all out. Okay. So my intentions: get rich, get swole, change the fucking world. That's the type of timing I'm on. Okay. So please buy my stuff. Hit the link in the bio. Let's make me a millionaire as fast as possible. And then I'm gonna spend all that money on rice cakes and whey protein powder and creatine and chicken breast and thighs and steak gains. All right. And then I'm gonna keep teaching. I'm gonna keep putting the seeds of astrology and magic and self-development in the whole entire world. And I'm gonna be as rich and fit as possible so I can lead by example. So, those are my goals, those are my intentions. And I have sub-intentions, but those are the most important ones for me, Fire Family. So I hope that inspires you in some way. You might not have the same goals as me, but what I think is really cool, this might be inspiring, is that, you know, too many eggs in too many baskets, or I could even say not enough eggs in your basket, you can't even make an omelet. So I'm the type of person, personally, guys, that I want to do everything all the time. I wish I could have 40 more hours in a day to do more things. And I wish I didn't have to sleep sometimes, man, because life is so exciting. Does anybody relate? And I've had to learn how to hold my horses and kind of reduce what I want to do or simplify my life. So I got three goals, and there's minor goals underneath them, but three goals basically: fit, rich, and change the world. Yes, sir. So basically, my point, if there is a point, Scorpio says evolve. Who do you want to be? You guys remember in school when they used to ask you that shit? Who do you want to be when you grow up? It's like the sun is asking us that right now. Like, who do you want to be when you grow up? You get busy living or you get busy dying. You're always growing. And there's something to be said about the powers of the mind, where you divesting your energy. We would do well to plant good seeds, metaphorically speaking, and not to invest our energy into nutrient deficient soils, malnourished environments, and forbid ourselves from participating in deleterious behavior. What do I mean? Stop fucking up your own life. Oh, Lord. That's literally what I mean. Everything is a choice. Scorpio is like, what choices are we making right now? It's a powerful energy. It's a serious energy. And Scorpio is ruled by Mars, guys. So I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump a little bit. I'm gonna jump forward just a little. And some people might think, what about Pluto? Yeah, it's both. Yeah, it's both. But think about your great, 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 great grandmother and father. Did they know about Pluto? I mean, maybe unconsciously, but there was no instruments and telescopes and astronomy to find that planet at that point. So Mars has always been the ruling planet of Scorpio in ancient astrology. But in modern astrology this day, yeah, it has two planets. Scorpio is one of those lucky ducks that gets two planets. And I mean, I'm gonna say some of y'all know this, but I don't like to leave things up to assumption, chance, or have people left behind. Like, what's he talking about? Basically, all the signs in the zodiac have a specific planet that is their ruler. And it's like you and your house, or you and your car, you or your possessions. It's like you are the ruler of your stuff or your domain. Or if you were the king or the queen, your kingdom or queendom would be your domain. You would be the ruler, right? So, and that's based on correspondence. Like those are the planets that are the most congruent with the sign. Scorpio is about power, and that's why Mars, which is the Roman god of war, that planet, that archetype governs over Scorpio. So when you see Scorpio in a chart, even a transit chart, like right now, even like in the moment, you got to know where is Mars, because Mars is going to show you what's going on, what's good. And this is interesting because both of these are in fixed signs, Scorpio, Leo. So Mars in Leo, let's talk about it. I was telling you guys we were going to talk about it, and now we're going to talk about it. Mars in Leo is an interesting beast. And if you're a Leo like myself, I know this is going to hit you harder. If you're a Taurus or a Scorpio or an Aquarius, this Mars Leo is going to hit you like a ton of bricks. But at the same time, like you're going to need progressive overload for hypertrophy. You dig me? In other words, if you keep lifting the same weight or just don't put any plates on the bench, you're not going to get stronger. All right. So there's a lot of ways you could understand Mars and Leo, but I would really just say the first thing that jumps off the screen at me, jumps off the page, is that this is a call to be intentional with your life because it's your life. Actually, this is a beautiful thing, guys, and I'm calling it out right now. In astrology, there's something called mutual reception. Mutual reception is basically when two planets will essentially switch signs. Okay. I already told you that Mars is ruled by Scorpio, but also Leo is ruled by the sun. Whoa, do you see what I'm saying now? They have flip flopped. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, them there. They have flip flopped. Oh, yes. Can't stop. And this is generally a good thing in astrology. Like I'm super Aquarian, so I'm hard pressed to say that anything is good or bad. It just is what it is. But as your leader, as your king, as your God, I am telling you, everything is good. This is an amazing thing. And regardless of how it plays out in our personal lives, we're going to make the most of it. So, one thing about Mars and Leo under the Scorpio sun is this is going to amplify the need for creative control. And that's beautiful. And that opens up another spectrum of possibilities. Oh, yeah. Can I get a amen? Basically, this is like nobody tell me what to do. This is my life. And I'm going to live it the way I damn well please. Mars and Leo could also reflect inspired, bold actions, putting your personal touches onto the things that you do within life. This is going to make you act like a king or a queen, make you more bold and regal, or on an extreme opposite, if you are the type of person that's hyper self-critical, this increased self-consciousness might make you more shy, might make you more reserved. So there's a lot of ways this could play out, and there's spectrums in between. I'm trying to paint a polarity just to show you guys how this could affect us. And ultimately, it matters a lot where your sun and your Mars are. And the question still is, where is your power? Are you investing in yourself? Are you growing? I think Mars and Leo also gives us a creative boost. It makes us want to do more, express more. Leo is a romantic sign as well. So this freaky ass Scorpio season has a lot of people lost in the sauce. Failed NNN day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. Get the spray, get the spray bottle. Take a cold shower. you know? Mars is still opposite to Pluto, and that's going to be basically a whole week thing, guys, because of orb. I'm gonna fast forward it just a little bit so you can see Mars only goes to 2 Leo. So this week we do have a very interesting Mars angle. I'd say like that's a very wide square to the sun. A lot of astrologers will not call that a square to the sun because it's so damn wide, but we certainly have Mars opposite the Pluto. And Mars opposite the Pluto, it has a lot of effects. The first one is regeneration, transformation. And it's also worth noting, guys, that Mars and Pluto really are two octaves of the same thing. It's been said that Mars is the lower Pluto and Pluto is the higher Mars. So you got power and evolution, or instinct evolution, power, rebirth, regeneration. So the intention this week is to regenerate. You're either going to be running right towards your power, just eliminating the obstacles as fast as you can, or you may feel like they're even piling up on some note. Mars, I mean, beyond the Leo Mars thing, I should say, because we've had Pluto opposite Mars, or you should really say Mars opposite Pluto, because Mars is the fastest planet. But generally speaking, they're the same thing. This Mars opposition to Pluto does intensify the need for control. Okay. So I just see that it's important to be sovereign. It's important to follow your own directions, do what you know to be right, live and abide by integrity. But this is even hard with this one, man, because sometimes under that same logic, like I know I should do this and I need this to get done, you're like, but I want to do my own thing. I'd rather be in control. So sometimes there's this rebelliousness that comes with this, or a derision, like I don't want to do what I'm told to do. Fuck you. And you're saying that to yourself because you're like, nobody's going to boss me around, but damn sure not me. So what gives? Like, what the fuck? That's no way to lead your life. So submission is pretty important conversation here. I love the astrology. I think you guys know. That's why I've been doing this for 80 billion episodes in a row. Every 80 billion weeks. Before I was born, I was making this series essentially. But that being said, this is a language. And when you get to study the archetypes, it'll translate for you in whatever other language you speak. And I think it's important with this Mars Pluto opposition that we get control over ourselves so we don't unconsciously want to control other people. Because that's what I've seen play out over the last week or so with this angle tightening up is that there's a lot of people who literally cannot control themselves, or they could, they just choose not to. And their unconscious desires just override their conscious desires, which is really a trip. It's really something to think about, guys. Do your conscious desires stand in harmony with your unconscious desires, or do they conflict? In other words, we got to do that damn shadow work. What? What does that mean? That's exactly what I just said. Like, it pays to pay attention, y'all. And it's like, I don't try to speak in cryptic riddles and rhymes, but unconscious versus the conscious. How do you become consciously aware of what you're unconsciously aware of? That's really the question, then. Really, that's on everybody's mind, if you're hearing me. To become consciously aware of what you're unconsciously aware of, you have to interrupt your patterns. That's simply the only way. You have to change. You have to do things that are different. And you have to wonder. You have to ask questions. You have to go deep. You have to think about your psychology. You have to pay attention to your emotions. You have to watch for the patterns. And then cross-referencing could be very powerful, could be very useful here in the interest of looking at other people that act like me, other people that think like me. What else do they think? What else do they do? What else do they believe? And then start to look for comparisons. Okay. And I think also it can be really helpful to have good friends and good people around you that you can really have deep conversations with and ask questions to and ask, about your intentions, about your motives, about your life, about your psychology, the things that imprint upon you, how your life works, how you've been formed, how you have developed, etc., so on and so forth. So cool stuff. it's an evolutionary week. It's an evolutionary month. And I'm going to jump the gun, guys, because I know I said 1 week in advance, but let's go to the next week. And we'll talk about it more specifically in the next episode. But oh my goodness. Oh my damn. Oh my goodness. They going ham. You got Pluto in Aquarius in less than 2 weeks, guys. And Pluto will be in Aquarius for 20 years. And we were just talking about Pluto. It's evolution and rebirth. And those are some of the most vague words you could use in astrology. They're like spiritual buzzwords. They barely mean any fucking thing to a lot of people. All right. So I really want to illustrate what the fuck is Pluto about, because that's going to help us understand the whole theme of the sun, the whole theme of the Mars, whole theme of the month. Okay. Pluto takes around 250 years to orbit the sun. And how many generations occur in 250 years? Like some people have children when they're like 16, you know? I would say maybe on average, let's say like 20 to 30. Let me bust out handy dandy calculator, Mandy. Oh yeah. So 250 divided by like 25. Let's say 25. That's 10 generations. Quick maths. Yeah, I didn't even need the calculator. As soon as I looked, I'm like, damn, okay. 10 generations, man. So Pluto is a oh man, what is Pluto? Pluto is out there. It's really far. And some people are like, is this a planet? Is this a flying rock? What is it? Some have said it's a dwarf planet, like it's got demoted from planet status. But regardless, Pluto orbits the sun. So it is part of the solar system, okay? And it does affect us astrologically. So it's a very interesting planet. And within its orbit, give or take 10 generations will be born through the orbit. And how, like, think about how different you and your grandma are. Think about how different you and your great grandma are. And it's like when I was your age, I used to dodge bombs when I went to school. You know, you kids don't know how easy you have it. And you hand them the iPad and they're like, what? What is this? So imagine, just think for a second. Forget the chart. 20 years from now, babies born with Pluto at 29 Aquarius. And then 20 years after that, when those kids turn 20, what will the world look like? Because right now, we have self-driving cars, we have chat GPT, we have artificial intelligence, we've got the internet, we've got all this technology that compiles information and makes labor easier. It automates it. It's going to be a brave new world moving forward, guys. And I think we are moving to the age of transhumanism. It stands to my reason that we are. Time will only tell. But when I was a kid, you know, in school, I would do my homework like everybody did. And we were just like, well, I think because I was born in 98, just so you guys know. I was born in 98. So that being said, we had access to the internet like our whole lives. So we could even Google the answers to our stuff. But it's like now the kids can take their iPad and just like take a picture of the thing, and then the AI will literally just they don't have to search for the answer. It'll just give it to them. And they were saying to my generation as I was in school that this internet is going to make you guys stupid because you guys don't know how to think for yourself. So, it stands to reason that these new kids on the block, they might be dumb as shit, but they also might be smarter than we've ever been. And there will kind of be a dichotomy, I think. And Neuralink, too. That's one thing that's also very interesting right now. It's just beginnings. Like people have merged with artificial intelligence within their human body. Like technology affects the nervous system. I have Pluto in the third house, y'all. Pluto in my intellect house. So it's worth looking where your Pluto is. I'm just saying this for reference. Technology has already merged with our mind. before I was born in this body. So Aquarius energy is a fixed air sign. Air is the intellect. Fixed is resistant to change. So I think if you put those together, Aquarius is a lot of words, but I would say the biggest one is the truth and technology. Okay. The internet is an Aquarian phenomenon. 100%, guys. So this 20 years of this 20 years of Pluto Aquarius, a lot is going to change through our global community, and the internet is going to be a big part of it. And I'm grateful that you're on my corner of the internet, that we are here sharing a sacred space. It's beautiful. We are all partaking in it, having a great time. Oh, yes, we are. Use this tool to your benefit. Use your resources. I don't like to exaggerate, guys, but I truly believe that almost any problem you have in your life, you can outsmart it. And this internet is a very powerful tool. It brings us so much information at the press of a button. We can get an answer to almost anything, and you can get 10 answers. You can get a lot of great information, you can get a lot of terrible information. But at the same time, you can compile a lot and you can get, you know, 10 sides of 10 coins in 10 minutes and have so much buying power of information. It can take you like 2 hours, even or less, just to become adept in something that you knew nothing about. Very cool. Like I'm telling you guys, I've been working out for a while. Like my gym journey, it's been I've been in the gym for like probably close to a decade, but it's been like a bar graph, you know. And when I first started in the gym, I was a complete noob. I was like a level 3 goblin, right? And just, pushing on things as fast as I could and not even having a plan, not knowing what to eat, not knowing which machines I needed, how my muscles worked, how recovery worked. And it's like, you can take your fitness goals, your weight, your height, how much you want to train, what you want to train, and put that into Chat GP and get a workout plan for free. And then also get corresponding, diet plans and stuff like that too. And it may not be always right. I will tell you guys, sometimes I've tried to do Chat GPT to say, like, tell me the major highlights and events of the week for astrology when I'm feeling lazy and I want help on my videos. And half the time it is absolutely wrong. It'll tell me, well, like, Pluto's an Ophiuchus. I'm like, no, the fuck it isn't. How? And I will tell the robot it's wrong, and it'll just be like, but yes, it is. And I'm just like, we're not looking at the same solar system, Chat GPT. I'm sorry. So you do need to know how to recalibrate, check your answers. But hey, guys, you can outsmart your problems. That's my point. I like to tell a story to make a point. You can outsmart your problems. I feel like there's not a lack of money, there's a lack of ideas. There's really never been a lack of money in the world if you really think about it. It's just a lack of ideas that we suffer from collectively. And I think we're going to see that. But I also really am excited because this brave new world we're going to step up into over the rest of our lives, essentially, it's going to be a more exciting world. It's going to be a more free world. It's going to be a more equal world. I would really love to see a unitary class, one class, the human race, down with the political state, down with the economic state, and then just exaltation of the human state of being. For real. Because we live in a global plutocracy, guys. I'm going to keep it a buck. Stay woke, guys. The world, humans right now are enslaved to plutocrats. This is not even late stage capitalism, which some would say. It's actually beyond late stage capitalism. It's neo feudalism. Like in feudalism, the ruling class, the monarchs, they would rule over the shareholders and the bankers. And the bankers would own and rule over the land where the peasants and serfs would work. And things kind of switched at some point where now it's the bankers, the capitalists, the economists that lobby and buy the politicians who buy the ruling class. And I'm filming this on election day, just so you know. And they rule us through our stomachs, guys. And it's crazy that eight people, eight people possess more wealth than the bottom 50% of people. That's plutocracy, wealth ruling. And if money is a measure of power, let me just put it this way, guys. Eight people, eight men actually, eight men have power over the bottom 50% of people. Is this right? Is this fair? Is this necessary? No, no, and no. No, no, no. And it is the way it works right now. I see a lot gonna change. It's this internet. It's this decentralized command. It's this decentralized economy. It's this decentralized world that is bringing power to the people. I'm telling you guys, it's this artificial intelligence revolution. It's this Homo Deus. It's this new world that we're stepping into that is really equalizing everything. You guys know they used to call guns the great equalizer, but I really feel like it's the internet now is the great equalizer. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has the ability to connect. And that's just a super powerful thing. So I'm way off on Pluto right now. I think I'm gonna reel it back in, guys, because these are just my ideas. Feel free to take them in, resonate with them, or let them fly by. I'd be interested to hear what do you guys see happening for Pluto and Aquarius in the next 20 years. Where do you think we're going? Because I would love to know. Let me know down below. So it's a Mars Leo week, as you guys can see. And hey, I'm strongly advocating for you to know yourself because the way that this hits me is completely different from how it hits you guys. Like, I'm having a great day. I'm always having a great day because life is great. But my sun is in Leo, my Mars is in Cancer, and I've got my Saturn in Taurus, and it's like this Mars is squaring my Saturn. I'm a Leo, so I could tell you guys about this all day. Like Lilith on my moon sign right now, Mercury on my Pluto, like just crazy transits that I'm having right now, which I love. I'm excited for. Some of them feel exhausting, if I'm just going to keep it honest with you. But at the same time, I'm just grateful to grow through whatever I go through, you know? So the sun this week is separating from a trine to Saturn. That's beautiful. And I really like the sun trine to Saturn because it makes it easy to build. It makes it easy to organize. You've got the solar power of the sun, the vital energy that brings mixed and accentuated with the Saturnian structure, the discipline and order. So I feel like it's a lot easier to set your plans up and get with the program, whatever that happens to be. I think this also increases our sense of autonomy and sovereignty and stability and authority. Oh, yeah. So I hope you guys remember you build your life. Build it a brick at a time, man. Because I also feel like Scorpio, it highlights the part of us that's great. And by average, people live average lives by the definition of that word, by really the logic of it. So if you're on my part of the internet, you have a calling to live your greatest life. Okay. And it may require you to do things that are different from the world. It may even require you to take greater effort. All right. And regardless, guys, we're going to take effort and energy anyway. It takes energy to do nothing. It takes energy to retreat from your goals. No matter what you're doing in life, it requires energy. And the sun is telling us that. That's where this is coming from, this part of the conversation. So if you're going to spend energy all day, every day, anyway, why not spend it in the direction of greatness? Why not spend it in the direction of your desires? Why not take a risk on yourself? Why not bet on yourself? Why not cut off all the things that hold you back from your power? Okay. I think it's really about addition by subtraction. I see a lot of things in my mind, and I believe everybody is clairvoyant, but it's like a muscle. If you don't use the muscle, it gets really weak. Or if a bird is caged his whole life, it might not fly. My mind said swim, and I just had to stutter for a second. It probably wouldn't swim either. So my point is, guys, like if we don't exercise our psychic abilities, we're not going to see them or hear them. All right. And I know it can feel kind of daunting when you're like, okay, well, my goal is going to take this effort, this time, planning, this priority. Sure, it'll take effort, but again, we're going to spend it anyway. So I think sometimes it's not even about increasing the workload that you have. It's about, I mean, and let me be clear, sometimes it is about stepping it up and really, there's no substitute for work unless you can automate it and build a system, but you still have to set up that with energy. I think it's really about removing the bullshit, removing those antithetical actions that hold you back. Like I'm on my fitness thing, of course. I'm always going to relate it back to this and maybe some other things here and there. But like, let's say you want to get jacked, you want to get swole, and you're ectomorph, meaning you're Jack Skellington, right? And you want to be what you call the Incredible Hulk, yeah. So you're trying to gain this mass, right? So you need proteins and carbohydrates and stuff like that too. So it's like you could be in the gym, you could be taking action and living your life and even putting in the work. But if you have this pattern or habit of not eating, or eating just, sugary foods without protein or carbs, you're gonna really find yourself not growing, especially. Or if you just like to skip meals, like it's that action, that skipping the meal that's gonna really bring you away. You just take out that one action, that meal skipping, and you'll see things like explode as far as growth goes. What else could I use as an example? Like let's say you want to pass college. I'm not in college, so I'm actually stretching my mind to help to give somebody a great analogy. Let's say you want to pass your finals or your exams and it's something challenging you got to study, right? And you got to look at your books, you got to go through the material, you got to get it in, and then you got to pass the test. And it's like, okay, cool. And I'm not telling people not to have fun, but it's like, what if on the weekends your fraternity, your sorority, or people in your school are like, let's go party, let's go bar hopping, and you already have student loans and debt, and you need it's crunch time. The test is in a couple of days, but you're like, okay, I'm gonna go out and get smashed drunk. So not only are you wasting time, taking energy away from your goals, you're also participating in a lot of fucking debauchery, poisoning your mind. You can't even focus. You wake up the next day hungover, throw up in the toilet, want to sleep more, go to your final hungover. It's like, is that conducive to your goals? When the self love is real, the self sabotage stops. That's my message right here, guys. We're still on the sun in Scorpio, Mars, Leo time, but I'm going to move through the rest of the planets pretty soon because I don't know what you want. I don't know what you desire in the heart of hearts that you have. But it stands to my reasoning that if you were intentional with your life, all your intentions could manifest unless you wanted to destroy the universe itself, because the universe wouldn't have that. We are all one. But I will say it's possible to create destruction. It's possible to create some bullshit. So don't do that. You get what you pay for, guys. Your attention is your most valuable resource. So spend it wisely, invest it wisely, get rich in mind, body, and soul. Okay. That's my spiel. That's my harping session for the sun. So when it comes to the moon, what's there to say about the moon? Let's go day by day. Because really all there is to say about the moon is we get the quarter moon this week, the first quarter. So, you know, the moon is how you feel. The moon is your mood. The moon is your emotion. So check your moon sign and know how you feel, how you respond to life. And then more importantly, guys, look at the degree of the moon sign. whether it's 15 Libra like me, or if it's 12 Scorpio, or 1 Aries, or 29 Pisces, just for example, for instance, it could be anywhere in the 360 wheel. But look at the number that your moon is in. And then as the moon goes day by day, it's going to make subsequent aspects with your moon. Because I could say a lot about the moon, but this is the most important thing to say about it is that everybody feels different for different reasons. All right. And the best way to understand it is to know where your natal moon sign is and know how your moon cycle works because everybody has a different moon cycle. All right. And I'm going to get my period in like a week or two. You feel what I'm saying? That's really how it works. Science. You guys understand? Hopefully, or I got somebody really confused right now, but basically, this moon is going to wax and wane and run around through the sky. So, in collective terms, guys, we're in between the new moon and the full moon. We had our new moon not too long ago. So, the pressure is building. If you watch the moon over this week, it's going to get brighter and brighter. It's going to take up more space in the sky. It'll get bigger, basically. And that means pressure is building. And we're taking action on our desires. We're moving forward. And I will say, guys, because most of us, in the world, I should say, not us watching this video, because if you can stand my energy and if you are interested in astrology, by and large, the chances are you are more psychically attuned, more spiritually aware, so to speak, than most of the people on the earth. A lot of people don't believe in astrology as if it's something you have to believe in, if there's no science or math to it. It really is all math if you really think about it. But by virtue of you knowing this stuff, you're going to be more aware of your emotional body and your emotional planes and your, subtle perceptions within life. So let me just say, collectively speaking, during the waxing phase of the moon, which is between new and full, when the moon is growing, we are expending energy in the direction of our goals and intentions. And we're planting seeds, so to speak, and we're growing. All right. And then when we have the peak, the full moon, the moon switches direction, not necessarily in a literal sense, but from our perspective, it starts to wane. We got that triple goddess, the moon with the two edges, on the side. So let me switch into the waning mode, releasing mode. And it's not time for that yet. Like I said, we'll talk about that in a couple weeks after our full moon in Taurus on the 15th. So get excited. But for now, guys, make sure that you're intentional with your life. And regardless of how you feel, and I'm really adamant about this, regardless of how you feel, go be great. Listen to yourself because you know what your greatness looks like. There's no such thing as perfection, only personal excellence. Okay. So you have to grade yourself on your own rubric. It's cool to be inspired. It's cool to look at other people and say, wow, I want to get some of that juice. I want to get on that type of timing, but it's your life, dude. And your life is yours. And it's the only one you have. So get busy loving it and stop comparing yourself to other people. Because comparison is said to be the thief of joy, but it can also be a very powerful thing, so you have to use it wisely. There's a difference between being inspired and trying to be somebody than you're not. Okay. Love yourself and be yourself. And the moon really is the mother. The sun is like the father. And you could take this metaphorically or literally, but generally speaking, the thing about the moon that you need to know is that, like a good mom, the love should be unconditional. You should be able to accept yourself no matter where you are, because wherever you are, it's for a reason. Even if you don't like your life, even if you don't think it's amazing, or even if you're on the top of the world, love yourself, comfort yourself, nurture yourself, take care of yourself. That's what the moon wants you to do. So that's what I get from that one, guys. And when is the quarter moon? The quarter moon is going to be on Friday. So I will say with the quarter moon phase, this is the midpoint. It's one of the midpoints between the new moon and the full moon. So this is a great time of change. It's sometimes where we have to adjust, maybe reassess the goals we set on the new moon. And if you didn't set goals on the new moon, I strongly recommend you start doing that, okay? Next new moon is going to be December 1st. So please make a note, write it on your calendar if you have to. Put a reminder in your phone, maybe the day before, to set new moon goals. You'll thank yourself later because your intentions will align with the lunar cycle. And this will kind of help you keep track of your timing. All right. And it brings excitement, it brings purpose to the month ahead too. So definitely consider it, guys. And around this quarter moon on Friday, we get to look at how we've been taking action and are there adjustments that need to be made. Are we going hard? Are we smashing the goals at the park? Are we slacking? This is a great time for revision and change because sometimes, you might have not put enough on your plate. Sometimes you put too much. Sometimes things change within life and the course has to be redirected. I find we hardly ever change what we want, but a lot of times the ways that we might find the essence of it can change too. So that's something to think about. So beautiful week with the moon. Love yourself. Enjoy it. We got Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius. And this is kind of interesting, guys, because Jupiter and Mercury are in mutual reception as well. Mercury rules Gemini and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So you got both of these guys swapped. And that kind of helps them out, is how I see it. So it governs our intellect. It goes fast. It shows us how we perceive things, how we internalize information. It's our perceptions, our impulses. It's the nerves, the left brain. And Jupiter is really the right brain hemisphere. It's about intuition. It's about connection, cosmology, philosophy, worldview, belief, faith, you know, all that wide angle stuff. So that's how I see this right here, guys. Is Mercury ruling over Jupiter and Jupiter over Mercury. It's like a wide angle lens. Mercury in Sagittarius is actually a very beautiful time because what this will do is make us more curious. It'll make us more inclined to study, more inclined to learn. But I think also there's something to be said about a need for travel with Mercury going through Sagittarius. And travel could be physical, it could be mental, but there's going to be some need for movement because if we sit still too long, we might find ourselves kind of bringing in this feeling of nervousness, or that can even kind of turn into worry and then start to be despondency if we feel like we're not growing within life as fast as we think we should be too. So switch things up, experience some variety, shake things up, have a good time, enjoy it, make the most of it. And it's worth looking at your Mercury aspects too. Like I said, this is a Mercury Pluto week for me, but that's just me. I don't know about you guys, but my Pluto Sagittarius, you probably got Mercury smacking over your Pluto, depending on degree. So watch out for that. Some of you guys don't have Pluto in Sagittarius, so it'd be different. But what about your mutable planets? Is there anything going on? Mercury is trying to Mars this week, so that's cool. And I think this also helps with planning and strategy. It adds power to the mind. So do with that what you will. I think when it comes to Mercury, because the first thing you really perceive in life is your immediate environment. And I think this is why Mercury has always ruled over Gemini in the third house and things of that nature. Mars and Mercury to me is suggesting to clean your environment, is suggesting to eliminate clutter, to consolidate your objects and feng shui your house and clean things up and just make sure it's not needlessly restrictive. Okay. Well, we got some action with Venus this week. So let's talk about that because I could talk about perception all day and then just talk in a circle. So Venus is beautiful. We love the goddess. So what is Venus? Love, indulgence, relationships. In Sagittarius, it's all about that travel, that fun, and that spiritual journey that we're all on. So interesting movement with Venus this week and interesting aspects. Venus is actually T square right now, and I'm going to hold that thought as I circle it. All right. Venus in Sagittarius is tons of fun. And at the same time, it's this need for freedom or this desire to be unbounded. So I don't know what's going on inside of you guys' love lives or personal lives, but I hope you're having fun. That's my best, intention here. is that you enjoy your life and you find meaning within it. Because I think those are the two biggest lenses to view this in, is that it's about joy, but it's also about deep meaning and being able to connect spiritually too. So in terms of love, and you see Venus is opposite Jupiter. So this is actually kind of interesting in the sense that Venus is being ruled by Jupiter too. And on one note, that kind of just highlights the qualities of Venus and Sag, but at the same time, it does bring them in a more tense way. So one way you could look at this is like overindulgence, maybe something to confront. If you're going overboard on your spending, overboard on your eating, even. I mean, it was funny. I was talking about under eating too. It depends, overindulgence. I don't know what you indulge in. Everybody's different. Everybody has different needs. So that's one way to look at this. This could look like very spiritual relationships, power couples, soulmates, or, you know, not really seeing eye to eye with people spiritually. So on one note, this could be like very free, exciting, meaningful love, or this could be very lonely for some people. Venus opposite Jupiter. Feeling like nobody really gets me. Damn. Well, let me just say this, man. If that's the case, there's people out here like you. There's tons of them. You just got to find them. And sometimes, you have to wander, and not all who wander are lost. So trust and believe, put yourself out there, and take time to think about what it is you're searching for in life. Because Jupiter, Gemini, you know, Mercury, Sagittarius, this is the chronic overthinker placement. It's hard to accept things simple with this transit. So I really feel like with this one, there's something to be said about mind mapping out your values, out your standards, out your boundaries, even. So you understand what you're looking for in terms of partnership, in terms of love, in terms of even your daily habits and schedule and indulgence. Like Venus can talk about a lot of things. What kind of life do you want to live, man? That's really the question. To me, this Scorpio season feels like Christmas. Like you can just write it down on a list and just make it happen. So let's forget about this opposition. Let's talk about the Venus Neptune T square that we're going to get this week. This is very interesting and also very confusing, let me say. And it's not perfect yet, but over these couple days, it's really going to be Friday during that quarter moon phase. I kind of like covered up the degree on my screen. On Friday, Venus will actually move perfectly into this square with Neptune. But I will just say, guys, based on degrees, based on orbs, it's really a Venus square Neptune week, all week. Okay. So be careful when it comes to love and indulgence because Jupiter, like I said, can kind of expand things and make it harder to, have limits basically. While they're not the same planet, Jupiter and Neptune have very similar energies and some differences, but where they relate. And also, I will say this is kind of like where Pluto and Mars stand in the same position. Both Jupiter and Neptune rule over the sign of Pisces. So that's very important to understand why they're congruent. Okay. So Neptune also doesn't do very well with limitations. Neptune is the ocean, it's vast, it's huge, right? Neptune's energy, and this is far out, guys. This is almost as like it's the planet right before Pluto, very, very far. It is a generational force. I would say more specifically, it's a cultural force and phenomenon. So there's a very mystifying quality to Neptune. It reflects our dreams, collectively and personally, our imagination, our hopes, our fantasies, even. And this is going to be intrinsically linked with love this week, guys, and indulgence. Venus square Neptune. You see what I'm saying? So this is not the first time on this series that we've talked about this, and it won't be the last. We'll talk about it many times in the next 100 billion episodes. Yeah. But just be careful with that proverbial tall, dark, handsome stranger. Things looking way better, things being way better than they appear. I think I'm saying this incorrectly, but I think someone already understands what I'm saying. things appearing better than they are is what I meant to really say. The thing about Venus square Neptune is that on the simplest like way to look at this is you needing indulgence with your fantasy. Like you need spiritual love basically. So you just have to be very careful this week that you don't project your bullshit on the people or that you aren't lost in the sauce when it comes to this romantic illusion that you hold your life in. And I know sometimes there's this narrative where you got to be Delulu to make it true, but sometimes you really just land on your fucking face and you're like, why was I so stupid and so naive? It's because you knew better. All right. So just don't be stupid. That's all I got to say this week, man. Just don't be stupid. I can say this under any transit, but especially in regards of love and relationships. And also, let's talk about the indulgence part about this one now. Okay. Venus is, about things that are pleasurable, things that we love to indulge in. And this week, more than others, there's this want to escape life. All right. And again, I'm gonna keep the Aquarian part of me out here and just say that like good and bad are subjective. It's all relative, and it's not what you do, it's how and why you do it that really is the determining factor. But stay off the drugs, stay off the bullshit. Don't harm yourself. Deleterious behavior, debauchery should be avoided at all fucking costs. All right. And in really, there's that conversation, everything in moderation. But how do you moderate something that's dangerous for you? I'm not here to judge people truly because you do what you want. And honestly, like I've partaken in so much of that behavior. So I couldn't judge you, but therefore I could advocate for sobriety. In the path of intoxication, it could have some benefits like relaxation or, a ritualistic thing in a social context, but just be careful, y'all. Know your limits and make sure your will to experience your life and live your life to the fullest is stronger than any will to escape. And you will go amazing places. Because I don't know, man. Some people may kind of feel overwhelmed within life at this point. And I think there's a million things we could talk about with every planet, every aspect, every transit, every cycle. But the last thing I want to talk about, and maybe not even the last thing, but with Venus Neptune, guys, there's this need for transcendence. There's this desire for God's love. And God is a limiting word for what we all experience. Words are limiting by their very nature. And if there is a supreme being, if there is a divine creator, or even if it is just your higher self or the unconscious aspects of you existing in everything, if that is the case, man, it's undescribable because it's all things everywhere. Whatever you define it as created the language that you speak and thinking, and you're limited by the nature of your thoughts. So this is what I'm just trying to convey is that whatever this thing is, it's beyond words. Okay. And sometimes you have to transcend the language to even connect with it, have a direct experience with the Godhead or your head or whatever, Beavis and Butthead. I don't give a damn what you call it, basically. But just know this week that you're connected to something bigger and better than yourself. You're a part of a larger whole. And I challenge you to see it this week. I challenge you to recognize your significance in the grand scale. Because I also feel like this can be a disillusioning time for some. I'm conveying the positives and then I'm kind of showing you where this might play out a little negative too, is that some may kind of feel insignificant in comparison to the vastness of life. So, if that's how you feel, that can even be a liberating thing. You guys remember the Queen of England? Like the most recent one? Yeah, I didn't think so. A lot of y'all fucking forgot about that shit like immediately. Yeah, so let me just think about this, guys. One of the most powerful, prolific people in the world in our day and age. died some years ago and people don't even fucking think about her. Some of us do, but it's like if that doesn't highlight the fact that you'll die and everybody who knows you will die and you're playing this game and when you leave you just got to push all your chips back into the table into the middle, that could give you a tremendous confidence and empowerment to do whatever the fuck you want with your life within reason, of course, but just live your life to the fullest, man. Do big shit, do dope shit because it doesn't fucking matter anyway. This is my opinion, take it with salt, but I think the only thing that's going to matter at the end of your life is the emotional quality of your life and the intellectual property that you accumulate. Like, what did you learn? What did you learn? So be grateful for your challenges, guys, because if everything was always sunshine and rainbows and you always got your way every single day, how fucked up would that be? How bullshit would that be? Truly think about it. Like it might be fun for a little bit. I'm sure my Aries placements are out there like, oh hell yeah, I could get down with that. Like say less, man. I'll take that forever. But you would be so bored. And I'm gonna take it back to Neptune for a second, guys. Every culture, every type of person on this planet based, and I say type of person based on like geopolitical nationality, etc., religion, stuff like that. All these different types of people see the one universal force different ways. But I've seen that many of them consider God, I have to use quote unquote, because like who decided to call it God? They consider this force to be omniscient, meaning it knows everything. It is omnipotent, it's all powerful, and it's omnipresent. It's everywhere. It knows everything. It has all the power and it's there all the time. So think about this, guys. What if you, what if you were everywhere at all times and you had the power to do anything? Just put your head there for a moment. What the fuck would you even do? There would be nothing to do because it wouldn't require any of your power. You wouldn't even have to go anywhere. You're already there. And I think this is kind of the reasoning behind the case of supposed God giving us free will, which is really like one of the only laws of this human existence beyond the physical laws of the universe. But then we get lost in these philosophical and moral debates about what is God's will, what is the will of God, why are we here, is there a specific purpose? Like it's the intellectual certainty that brings humans emotional security. Whoa. Are we getting philosophical out here, y'all? What is going on? It's comforting to know that there's a right or a wrong answer. And then the thing is, guys, that we might not even be correct. Everybody has different ideas. And because humans conceptualize God, it's relative. We could have different gods. And we're number one. We're number one. You got Republicans today saying this is the right way to do it. You got fucking Democrats today saying, no, this is the only way, and every Republican is stupid. You got libertarians saying, fuck both of y'all. Y'all are both idiots. You've got the Packers saying, we're the best fucking team in the world. You've got the Steelers saying, no, it's us. You've got the Ravens saying, every other fucking team sucks. So it's just like, this is some tribalist bullshit. And can we do better as a species? Can we transcend these fucking illusions and just recognize that what works for me might not work for you? And what works for you works for you. And we can just respect that. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to impose our will upon other people. And that's as far as it goes. Okay. I just say namaste. I recognize I bow to the divine within you. It exists in all of us. When we start putting words on top of it, we start to limit this thing, whatever it is, even if it's just us or if it's something beyond us. because it's beyond my reasoning. I don't see the laws of the universe holding us like puppets. Like, no, you got to dance this way in this stage. It's like, bro, if I had that parameter, why why am I allowed just to scream at the top of my lungs right now? Why is it that I could go to Target right now and do a fucking crab walk or do that like back bend walk like the Exorcist lady and walk through the fucking aisles like that? I could do that shit. That's free will. I could do whatever the fuck I want for real. Actions have consequences, you know? And we live in a society. So I guess we're we're kind of getting that in a Neptune Saturn time. We live in a society, guys. So the thing about society is that we got to get along. We all sharing this earth. We are all utilizing her resources, her land, her space. So we got to get along. We got to take care of this earth. This is a Native American proverb. You know, it's only after the last tree is cut down, when all the rivers are poisoned and all the animals die, when we realize we can't eat money. That's crazy. So we got to take care of the earth. That's really all I got to say there, guys. This earth is all we got. And we would do well to, advocate for policy that makes sense for the future, but also don't get so wrapped up in this dualism, this us versus them mentality that this is my cave and I'm going to kill everybody who wants to get into it. No, it's like advocate for universal sustainable abundance because it's within the realm of possibilities, especially with all the technology and the resources we have, guys. We need to get over the illusion of scarcity. We have to forget about it. Dude, think about it. I'm going to tell you again. There's 8 people on the world that have more money than the lower 50%, the most impoverished 50%. And money, again, you can't eat it, but you can spend it on things. You can use it to build. You can use it to develop. Every first world country could become a third world country. And we could have natural resources flowing so easily and sustainably through every part of the world. And we could consolidate our buildings to the point where we have minimal impact negatively on the environment. We could rely more on solar power and hydroelectric power. We could create infrastructure within this world where we don't even have this illusion of poverty, where people are not dying of fucking thirst and hunger. And also, we could compile the resources intellectually to the point where we're not killing each other over different ideologies, also. That's the world that I want to live in, guys. I got Uranus in Aquarius and Neptune in Aquarius, and Pluto is like waking me up. You feel me? And it's going to be an interesting 20 years, guys. And I think that the world is going to be better than it's ever been. And it's because we're going to create it. And honestly, it's this phenomenon where when the pain of staying the same is more painful than change, the change is inevitable. It's just going to happen automatically. So I really love this world, guys. And I just think it's never been this exciting to live on this planet. I mean, and there's arguments to say maybe the roaring 20s were pretty cool, or maybe if Atlantis is a thing, that must have been dope or whatever, or ancient Kemet or blah, blah, blah. But hey, we live here right now. So let's make the most of it. I'm gonna close the gap. We'll talk about the rest of the planets. You see my vision. We're off on Neptune time right now. But we talked about Mars a little bit, guys. Mars and Leo opposite the Pluto. It's a month. Well, really, I'm actually gonna do you guys want a video for Mars and Leo? Let me know. Because I was thinking about it yesterday, but then I was like, I need sleep. It's not that I missed it. Like we're gonna have it for a while, but I'm moving forward a little bit. You guys can see that we're gonna have Mars and Leo for the rest of the year. And then in the beginning of January, during the retrograde, it'll go back into Cancer for a little bit. And then after the retrograde in Cancer, it'll go back to Leo. So, we got an interest, probably like June of next year is how long we're going to see Mars and Leo. Like, I'm going to literally pull it forward. Yeah, I'm him. I literally knew it. So it's like, midway through June, Mars will move into Virgo. So Mars and Leo is something to get really familiar with. We're going to have it for a while, guys. And it is bold, inspired action. It's being confident. It's building up yourself and recognizing that you, on some way, are the center of your life. All acts are selfish acts. I'm telling you guys, that's the truth. Just, just observe this. Even charity, even what I'm doing. Like, I already see these planets. I already know about them. So I'm technically making them for you, these videos. But at the same time, it's like I get a reward from this. It makes me happy to see this. That's a selfish motivation. It is. And some people would debate me on this. And really, let me put it this way, actually, is that it's not a binary, it's a continuum. It's not, is it selfish or is it selfless? It's to what extent is an action selfish or selfless? It's technically both what I'm doing right now. I do this for you, but I get paid from this. My videos are monetized. Um, this promotes my business. This also helps me share my vision for the world and influence the masses like a puppeteer. It is like that. I am your God, bow down to me, etc. and so forth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So get excited and become your own God. That's what I got to say about Mars and Leo. And what is a god? What is a goddess? That's a creator. Okay. So to become a god or goddess, you must understand that you possess the power to create and sustain your path in life. Okay. And do with that knowledge what you will. And what that basically means, guys, because you got to invert thinking sometimes for like things to really stick. What that means is you cannot abdicate the responsibility of creating your life to anybody else, anything else, anyone else. No person, no place, no thing, no ideology, no company, no corporation, no politics, no nation. You create your life. Anything else is blame game, and nobody wins that game. Okay. And I'm not saying not to hold other people accountable. That's not my message. But I'm just saying, guys, like life be lifing. So live it to the fullest. Be intentional with your energy. Your intentions are probably going to manifest if you really line up your energy and just push on what you want with full force. But also, there's something to be said about this Leo energy, okay? Because Leo, again, is selfish energy, it's sun energy. And the self matters, the ego matters. We can't live without it. You got to have it. So there's something to be said about community once again. We've already had this conversation, but it's just like the laws of cause and effect and karma. If you are so selfish to the point where you become a hypocrite or a bigot or a tyrant, you're not going to manifest your desires because people are going to fucking hate you. And that's as far as it goes. Unless you can manipulate them to the point where, you know, you can rally them up towards your objective. People love when you help them throw stones at their enemies. So that's just kind of what I'm seeing. Mars and Leo. I'm over here just like I'm drifting off into Pluto. I'm just like I'm learning how to communicate better. So there's some stuff that I just don't need to say with my mind being the way it is, which is so funny. I'm wasting your time and attention by telling you that. But, you know, what do you want to create? You could certainly do that and rally the troops. Get your friends to help you. Mobilize your associates. Be a leader. Aquarius energy. And I also think with this Mars, Leo, Pluto, Aquarius, just remember leadership only happens through example. So before you want to advocate for others to do stuff, do it yourself because otherwise you are going to be a hypocrite, truly. So Jupiter and Gemini, it's an abundance of ideas. Like, oh my goodness. Make things make sense. Keep studying, keep learning. If you need perspective in life, enrich your mind. Try not to overthink stuff. Saturn in Pisces, believe that life is good. I don't want to tell you what to believe, but I just did, guys. Because beliefs, they filter your reality. Saturn is a slow moving planet. It gives us an opportunity to master something. And Pisces is the nature of our beliefs. So whatever you believe, just practice it because then you'll actually be able to see if it plays out for you positively or negatively. And if it doesn't, you have the power to change it, to choose something different. All right. But if you don't have faith in life itself, guys, life is going to be very difficult. So I will advocate for you just to have some hope. Hope is not a strategy for success, but it is an intrinsic part of manifestation. You've ever heard that phrase, whether you think you can or you can't, you're generally right? That's what I get from this one, Saturn Pisces. And I could have a deep philosophical, psychological conversation about this one. I'll take it there very quickly just to show one dimension of this, guys. Saturn is mastery, Pisces is empathy, and Saturn will take 2 to 3 years to move through each sign. And a lot of my Saturn Pisces babies, you guys are having your Saturn return right now. So a lot of stuff is getting crazy. A lot of lessons are popping up. So empathy is our ability to feel other people's feelings, right? And connect with other people. And empathy is a gift that most of us have. It's also like a muscle. You can develop it, you can train it. And what I've seen, I'm just going to use those people with Saturn Pisces, for instance. Like I've seen a lot of people with Saturn Pisces. They are some of the most intuitive and empathic people. And by virtue of it, they can be some of the most generous people as well. And that also kind of shows you that, again, Jupiter rules over Saturn, or I should say over Pisces, where Saturn is right now. Jupiter and Neptune rule over Pisces. So Pisces is a lot about dreams and fantasy, but also, spirituality and giving. If you've ever met a Pisces, even if it wasn't a Saturn Pisces, Pisces people will give the shirt off their back for no reason to somebody they don't know, which is like sweet because they have this, you know, generous spirit, but also this what do you call it? This generosity, this self sacrificing nature can be very self destructive. Like, and I don't know if she watches my videos, but I mean, we're still friends. We just don't really talk too much. But I had this Pisces friend, and she'd be like struggling to pay her rent, and she got like two dogs, and then another dog like pops up out on the street, and she's like, "Let me adopt this dog, and let me adopt that dog, and let me adopt this dog." I'm like, "Girl, you can barely feed yourself right now. What the fuck are you doing trying to feed all these other mouths?" It's that type of energy. It's like this empathy, this compassion we have. It can require some limitations. You understand? That's the mastery here. That's one dimension of it. Like I said, there's a million ways to look at all these placements, but I find that a lot of people in this time are struggling with empathy. And it's not that they don't have it. Sometimes that's the case, but I'm seeing a lot of people are struggling with having too much empathy, feeling obliged to take care of everything, everybody all the time, being too soft. And you know, when in doubt, follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Okay. And that also is why some people just want to give, 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 give. But I think also there's something to be said about, advocate for yourself. And it's not your job to save everybody in the world. The world will take care of itself. And it is really survival of the fittest out here. I think in the world of universal sustainable abundance, it won't be so cutthroat and weird. But simply put, guys, there are people that don't want to participate in the game of life. They don't want to contribute. They'd rather take than give. I'm not saying that take, like, it's generally supposed to be a balance. You give and you take, but there's a lot of people that are non-contributional. They don't even want to give empathy. They don't even want to give love or compassion. So why would you waste your compassion, love, or empathy on them? And I'm an advocate for that universal type of unconditional love where you can recognize yourself as someone else, the higher self, namaste. But at the end of the day, you don't got to open your heart to somebody that doesn't care about you. That's my message. That's all I'm saying, guys, is that like really you take care of you, you take care of your loved ones, and then you can start to branch out into the community. But it's really a hierarchy, a prioritization. where we can't pour from empty cups. So until we fill ourselves, it's very difficult to be of service to the world, truly. And until you're good, you can't really help people, you know? But let me also say that, Neptune energy, which is again the ruling planet of Pisces, and they're both in the same sign, Saturn and Neptune. This Neptune Pisces energy is the part that strives for perfection. And it's not that you have to be perfect to help other people, because you could be at, like, let's say 10% of your potential. You could help other people that are 10 below 10%, you know? So don't be afraid to lead when you understand something. Don't be afraid to help out. But at the end of the day, man, it's like you don't gotta, if you're not at the 100%, let's use it as like a school example. Like, you're not on chapter 8 yet, you're on chapter 3 of the textbook. Do not try to tell people how to do the work in chapter 7 and 8. All you're doing is guessing. It's just conjecture. If they ask you, it's a different story, but be responsible. So I'm way off on Neptune time right now. So I'm going to reel it back in. We'll go back to like the other outer planets. We've talked about Pluto and Aquarius quite extensively. So weird things are happening, guys. Changes are coming. And this systemic oppression, Pluto Capricorn, is coming to an end. It will. It will also change forms a little bit as well. So just be aware of it and advocate for peace, advocate for power for the people, more freedom, not less freedom. Okay. Best thing I could say about Pluto and Aquarius. Uranus and Taurus has a lot to do with the shifting values, the cryptocurrency, the internet money, ecology being a very important thing, global instability. There's a lot of ways you could put these together. This Uranus Taurus takes about 7 years to transit. So funny enough is that next year we'll have Uranus moving to Gemini too, guys. So a whole new shift. I see also, this is worth talking about. It's been this way for a second, but the Uranus trine Pluto right now. It's a great time to reinvent yourself. It's a great time to reinvent your life. It's a great time to use this internet, use your resources, and great time to do psychological work. If you aren't in therapy or counseling, it's one of the best times to investigate this, especially over the next coming months as this angle tightens up. You get a lot from it, more in this time than others, truly. What else we got? Neptune and Pisces retrograde and then the North Node. And then I'll leave you guys to think about life for yourself and have fun with it. Neptune is finishing Pisces, and you already know we're going to have an interesting Venus angle this week. So the thing about Neptune and Pisces, guys, the dream right now is perfection. And it's been this way for a minute. It takes Neptune about 13 to 14 years to go through each sign. The orbit is about 156 years, give or take. So yeah, it's a slow grind, Neptune energy through each sign. And this is the age of social media. It's the age of Photoshop and edits and cosmetics and these unrealistic standards of beauty. But I will say things are very sexy. They are. And things are changing. People are waking up to their spiritual life, the spirituality of all things during this time. And with this being retrograde during this time, I feel like this is a demystifying quality. And I'm so excited, guys, for so many reasons. And what I'm really excited for is that Neptune is going to switch signs next year too. And the year is almost over, guys. So we're going to have a cultural shift very soon. And I think Neptune and Aries is also demystifying. And I will say that you might already kind of see the negative parts of Neptune Pisces, because on one note, this does help us realize that one consciousness exists through all things. And it also helps us have this compassion for those that are suffering or marginalized and support the world in equality. But on the other note, this Neptune Pisces energy, it is again these unrealistic standards of beauty. It's this mass perfectionism, and it can be a hypnotic spell of delusion over the whole world, overlooking things. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I'm pretty sure the BP oil spill happened under this transit. 2010. Yeah, so let me make sure. I could be actually wrong. So let me check. I think I might have just put my foot in my mouth. Let's go back like to 2010. Oh, I'm in the 50s. What? Yeah, I think it was Aquarius Neptune. So you got to watch before you say shit. Yeah, Neptune was in Aquarius. Why did I bring up the BP oil spill? My intuition told me to. But do you guys see also right here, as I'm talking about Neptune, that like my intuition brought something up? I was actually incorrect, maybe on a symbolic, subtle, subjective level that meant something to somebody, right? But I was incorrect. I was wrong as fuck. You see what I'm saying? So the thing about Neptune and Pisces that you have to understand is that we need some grounding for our idealism to actually reach this world in a tangible way. Okay. And I think also with Saturn in the same sign, this is a sign of the times to demystify our beliefs, to add concrete evidence for what we believe. Okay. Practice what you preach, practice what you believe so you can see if it actually works for you or if you're not just creating, what should you call it? Creating evidence of your confirmation biases and use that to self justify. That's a crazy thought. Which perception is reality. What you believe, you start to perceive, and the nature of you perceiving your beliefs makes you think your beliefs are true. And they might not be. You might be running in circles in your own head because you think you're looking outside of the window, but the windows are really just mirrors. Ooh, that's something to think about. You see, a picture's worth 1,000 words. That should kind of drive it home. Oh Lord. Yeah, so basically like I guess to drive it home, take it full circle. I guess what I was trying to say is that there's this energy we call spirituality. All right. And it's on BP oil spill mode. People have wanted to grab this up lately because it makes sense and it feels good to feel like we are one with the universe and that there's a higher path and purpose. But we have drilled so deep into this spirituality shit that it is polluting the rest of the fucking world. And you probably find a lot of joy in your spirituality, but also at the same time, Gemini Jupiter might have you kind of confused about it too right now, really. But I don't know who I'm talking to specifically, so I try to bring as many ideas that are meaningful as possible. But yeah, grounding and idealism for this shit. So that's all I got to say about Neptune and Pisces. Last thing, certainly not the least, and really, like I said, we could add asteroids to this, and all types of midpoint structure and mathematical calculations and do this all day. And believe me, man, if I didn't have to sleep, I probably would. If I wasn't bound by this time and space right now, this freaking Pisces Saturn energy. Oh Lord, I'd be a Sigma Gigma Chad. Giga Chad? Yeah. I'm already the Alpha Chad, but we're gonna get there. As soon as I transcend this flesh suit, y'all, through its natural expiration and become the hidden company, oh man, then it's over for you bitches, for real. Let's talk about the North Node. That's where we go. And the South Node is where we come from. What? What? Yeah. So, hey, where are we going? I'm asking you because you're the leader. Aries energy. We're going where you say we're going. You get me? Don't ask me where we're going. That's South Node Libra energy. Quit asking others for direction. You go where you want to go. That's as simple as I can say it, especially with Mars, the ruler of the node in Leo. You go on your own path. Stop copying off of other people's paper because we all have different tests. You could flunk your life just by trying to be too much like others. now at this time more than other. Straight up. So you get one life. I don't care if you believe in the reincarnation, death, birth, rebirth wheel. Like, I see truth in that, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about live this life to the fullest. And even if we were talking about it, that would set you up better for the next life too, right? Yeah, 100%. So forget the vanity, forget the appearances, forget the approval of other people. As long as you aren't like literally turning against the whole entire world, you should generally be able to go wherever the fuck you want to go, right? If it harms none, do what you will. But also at the same time, that's a great guiding principle. But there are some zero sum games in life. If you don't know what that means, look it up. But it can be difficult sometimes to do things that harm nobody. So I think generally speaking, if you wanted guidelines for choices, which is Mars energy, you make the action that helps the most people and harms the least. That would technically be the best choice if all things were equal and you had all those choices in front of you. The one that helps the most and hurts the least is the best one. But at the same time, it's not always that clear. So give yourself permission just to be yourself and to try new things and to pioneer. Okay. That's my message for you guys. I love you. Hope you understand that because namaste. The divine in me, well, recognizes the divine in you. We're probably the same person. And that's some Neptune Pisces shit, I will say once again. So I'm going to take care of me for you, and you're going to take care of you for me. And then if I'm good, if you're good, we're both good, then we can pour into each other and we can start to build some dope things in the world together. Leadership only happens by example. Fire family, it's Mr. Meyer with the fire. Here to take the collective vibration higher. Love your soul. I'll see you guys in the next video. Blessed be.